House Party is directed by Cal Maddock and stars Jacob Lattimore, Tossin Cole, and LeBron James. Two broke and desperate best friends decide to throw an all-or-nothing party in the home of LeBron James himself in order to make a name for themselves. Now, there are two things to keep in mind when I'm doing this review. One, I've never seen the original House Party because I'm pretty sure most people my age don't even know there's an original 90s version of House Party. And two, when I was watching the trailers for House Party for the past couple months, I actually thought this movie had a lot of promise. It definitely looked like one of those trailers that was deliberately saving their best jokes for the movie because there were a couple jokes in the trailers that personally, I thought were actually pretty funny. And as unpopular as it apparently is to say this with critics, I actually don't think this movie's that bad. I don't think this movie's great by any means, but yeah, I think it's pretty funny. The jokes are definitely character and situation based, and when the guest celebrities come into the movie during the actual house party portion of the movie, they actually do play into just the legend and cartoonish nature of their celebrity status as heavily as possible, and I really did like that. There is a lot in the movie that the film asks you to not take too seriously, and once you just accept that, a lot of the movie isn't half bad, especially when we get into what feels like the last third of the movie. I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure this is where most people hate the film because it definitely feels like it's one of those portions of the movie that was pretty much just thought up on the spot instead of being written down and pre-produced ahead of time. But because of just the random spontaneity of a lot of the scenes in the last third of the movie, I actually found it really funny, and the good majority of jokes within that portion were actually kind of hilarious. A lot of the jokes in that last third of the movie definitely reminded me of something like This Is the End or Pineapple Express. Those movies that are just so out there with their sense of humor and their ideas that you pretty much have no choice other to find them funny. So honestly, looking at it like that, I actually really did like the last third of this movie. And that's not to say that the first 2/3 of the movie don't have good jokes, it's just that the first 2/3 with their jokes is very hit and miss because, yeah, you're expecting just the build up to the house party and the house party itself. And some of the jokes, especially with the actual guest stars that they get, are really funny. It's just that when the film goes very standard with its story and its humor, that's when the jokes don't really land. But to be fair, I don't think there were any jokes in this movie where I was just rolling my eyes and wishing that they would get it over with. No, they were just sort of and they just moved on to better jokes. I know I keep repeating this in all of my reviews for comedy, but it really does stand. Comedy is definitely the most subjective viewpoint of film criticism. So a lot of what I thought was really funny in this movie, I'm sure there are a lot of you that would definitely agree with me, but there are definitely going to be a lot of you that don't and really do think I'm insane. And along with that, there is a good amount of heart in the movie. Characters do suffer consequences for their stupid or just really illegal actions. And lastly, as someone who has previously seen Tossin Cole in Doctor Who and knows that he's British in real life, hearing his American accent in this movie, all I have to say is just... Are there problems with the movie? Yeah, of course there are. As I alluded to earlier, not every joke works, and even a good majority of the jokes in the very first 2/3 of the movie don't really land. I never really felt the chemistry and that sense of brotherly love between our two main characters. And sometimes the movie can be very rushed with its pacing and especially its exposition dumping. So yeah, is this technically a stupid movie? 100%. But is it my kind of stupid? Kind of. A good chunk of the comedy really does work as a lot of the people and celebrities lean into the more cartoonish extremes of their characters. And the last third of this film is so insane, it's hard not to get a laugh out of it. But there is a good chunk of the comedy that doesn't land. The chemistry between the two main leads isn't always there, and sometimes the film can feel very rushed. I definitely don't think it's going to be one of the best comedies of the year, but considering the fact that I had a lot of chuckles and a good amount of laughs throughout this film, I can honestly say I'm glad I saw it. I'm going to give House Party a C. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite just out there comedy? For me, I can honestly say it might be one of the movies in the Cornetto trilogy. I love them all, so choosing between them is just really hard, so I'm just going to say all three of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best, and don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.